Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. This is our second week, our first day of the week for Fusion Insights. And today we are going to talk about something that I think a lot of people really want to know a lot about, which is how to increase your Instagram engagement. And I'm so delighted today with us. We have Selma, who is the founder of Selma Digital, and she's a member of the Fusion Circle, and she is so well known within the community, and she's involved doing a lot on social media and especially on Instagram. And when we were doing the Fusion Insights, I reached out to Selma and said, Selma, I absolutely need you to come and talk to everybody in the female fusion community about what it is that people can do to get more engagement on Instagram. But before we dive into that, Selma, I would love for you to just, for people who don't know you, and I know a lot of people do know you, maybe you could just introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about why you are such an expert when it comes to Instagram.
Sure. So first of all, thank you very much for having me this afternoon actually. And I'm really happy to be talking about this topic. So just to give a bit of background, I first got drawn into social media for my own fitness account, which I grew to a few 100,000 followers. And that's kind of how I got really into Instagram and everything. And then I kind of realized I wanted to take a step back, and what I've done basically for my account, that's what I want to do for small business owners. So I started my agency. First, I started as a freelancer, just like helping out a few friends, and then I realized that actually there are lots and lots and lots of small business owners, especially in Dubai, that really struggle with social media, whether it's because they don't have the time or they don't really know how to start, what to do, what to post, what to write, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're trying to solve for these people.
Amazing. Yeah. And I think Instagram, for so many small businesses, for them, Instagram is the place that they really want to be, that they're conducting business, that they're selling, that they're building their personal brand, their business's brand. But I know that people are so frustrated by Instagram as well, because they can't really work out what it is that they need to do to get more engagement on Instagram. So let's dive straight in. From your perspective, a small business, what things do they need to think about to get more engagement, to get noticed by their ideal paying clients? If somebody came to you and said, Selma, I can't work out Instagram, but I want to get more engagement, I want to sell more, I want to build my business, what would you recommend? What are the first steps that they need to think about doing?
So I'm going to start with something that I don't want to scare anyone. I know a lot of people are really struggling with this, but it's real, and it's especially because the head of Instagram just announced that they're testing a new feature where basically the home screen will be in full size videos, and it will be suggested videos, kind of like on TikTok. What this means is that video content is really, really, really going to be pushed more than static picture content. So if you're not already doing reels, it's definitely something that you need to look into. And that's something that, because I think it needs to be a bit demystified, it's something that anyone can do. As long as you have a phone, honestly, you can do it. You don't need necessarily to hire someone for it. You can do it yourself. It just comes down to your overall strategy, which is a big part of if you want to increase your engagement, you can't just post and just like random posts without a strategy behind and just post for the sake of posting, because you're not going to get anywhere with this. So I think the very first step is building your strategy, being clear with your goals. what do you expect, what do you need from your social media? Is it just more likes? Is it more followers? Is it more sales? And then based on that, you're going to have different ways, if you want, to increase your engagement.
Yeah. And that's, well, I think with most things, right, it comes down to strategy first.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people don't think that, especially when you're wearing so many hats within a business, that oftentimes people just jump in and start posting and start posting. And you see that as well with the newer businesses. And then they realize that that's not really getting them engagement, or the posts that are getting them engagement are maybe not what is going to be relevant for their ideal paying clients. So it's actually not really helping them in business. So you could put a great reel out about your cat doing something funny, but if it's not appealing to your ideal paying client, what's the point? Okay, maybe a few people liked your cat video.
Exactly, yeah. And that's why, honestly, when you think about content, a great way to think about it is put yourself in the shoes of your customer or your target audience, and just ask yourself, is this interesting? If I was a consumer watching or reading this piece of content, would I be interested, or would I find it a bit too long or too complicated to understand? And because when you try to see it from your customer's perspective, then it might help just I don't know, like, go to the point, keep it very simple, very clear, very straight to the point. And these are things, because nowadays there's so much content, and people's attention span is really, really, really short. So you only have a few seconds to capture your audience attention. And if you just kind of like drown everyone in just like loads of information, or just loads of text and loads of overwhelming content, that's definitely not going to help with your engagement. And that's why a great way is to start like, you only have a couple of lines before you have to click on see more. Is really to try and start this with something that really is going to hook your audience. Like, did you know this? These are like 5 ways for this, or people in this industry do not talk enough about, and then you talk about that, but really try to catch their attention.
Yeah, and that is super important. And I think oftentimes, especially when businesses just start, or it also as well, if you don't have a background with communications, and a lot of people don't, that oftentimes you're so wrapped into your business and you're loving your business that you don't see what the other people see and know maybe what they're looking for. So if we would start, so we're saying that a new business needs to think first about getting that strategy right, and thinking really clearly about what they want to be communicating and what the end result is. So that would be step one. And I guess they can either do that themselves, and we have resources in the Fusion Circle for that, or that can be part of something that they engage a social media consultant or a company such as yours that they can get help with that. But then after they've done that step, there's a whole piece about content. And this is, well, again, when you're doing so many things in your business, how do you push out all of that content? And depending upon what's going on, you could be posting 3-4 times a week, up to several times a day, depending upon your business and what it is that you're doing. And I see that there's 2 areas that businesses get stuck with. One is just consistently creating that content so you can push it out there, because oftentimes people aren't batching their content, which is one thing that we recommend. And we've done workshops on that. We're going to do more workshops on that to be able to plan your content for the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks, so you have that. But then the other thing as well is trying to think about how you're going to create it. You know, like you can create some stuff in Canva, but then I know that a lot of people get, especially with Reels. Now, you were talking about Reels, and we'll delve a bit deeper into that, but people get freaked out about that and they go, oh, I can't do that. And so they just leave it. So, what is your recommendation for the busy entrepreneur? If they want to get started, they want to be more strategic, how can they better create their content?
I think the first thing anyone can do is spend a bit of time on Instagram, on TikTok, on Pinterest, just getting some ideas, looking at maybe similar industries, what type of content is out there, that kind of thing. In terms of creating the actual content, like I said, as long as you have a smartphone with a good resolution camera, you can do it yourself. And I think one reason why people get overwhelmed is because you see all these like really like fancy reels, like loads of transitions and effects and things, and just like you have no idea how to do that, and you don't need necessarily to do that. My advice would be just to start simple, really simple. If you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, that's fine, because there are lots of other things you can show. If you're, I don't know, if you're a candle making business, for example, you can show behind the scene of when you're making the candles. You can show different clips of packing an order, or like the different, I don't know if you have different scents, you can show all of that. And I'd really recommend starting very simply. Like don't overcomplicate it. Start very small, very simple, and eventually you will work. Yeah.
But I would say typical entrepreneurs, right? We always want to go big.
Yeah.
Like I want to have the best Instagram channel, the best reels, the best images.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, you don't have the time for it, or you don't have the budget for it as well. So definitely you're right when it comes to keeping simple. The other thing as well, I would love to hear your insights, and there's always different formulas depending upon who you speak to, about how you allocate your content. So which amount of content is there to kind of create a sense of community? Which content is there to maybe inspire people? What amount of content is there to maybe sell to people, to be able to get more customers? Do you in your business work to a formula that you would suggest to your clients? Maybe you've cracked something that works really well?
So it's actually a really good point, because, and that's what we see with a lot of businesses, every post is kind of like promotional. Every post is just about, here's my product, if you want to buy, that's what you need to do, here's my product. And that's not a good strategy if you want to get more engagement. You might get some sales out of it, but not necessarily people liking or commenting or anything. If we're talking just purely engagement, what you need to try and incorporate is carousel posts. They do really well. They're the second type of, after Reels, they're the second type of post that perform the best.
Can I ask you with carousel posts, because you can do up to 10 images in a carousel post. Would you recommend going all the way up to 10? Or is there an ideal number, like maybe 3 or 4, or just so long as you have a carousel post?
It depends on what your post is about. So carousel should be kind of like informational or like educational. And if what you want to say fits in 3 slides, just do 3 slides. If it fits in 10 slides, do 10 slides. But there's no point in trying to fill every single slide just because you have 10, so you can go can do up to 10. Just it's always the same. Try to think about it from the person who's going to consume your content's perspective. If you want them to, because obviously the algorithm will know that people that swipe until the end of your carousel, if most people do that, it means that your content, your piece of content is potentially quite interesting for other users as well. So it
Yeah.
might be shown a bit more. So if you add some content that's not really interesting after the first two slides, people might just decide to swipe away from your post. So just keep it. The thing with carousels is you should try and keep them really visually clear and self-explanatory. You don't want like loads of text. You want one key idea or one key point on per slide.
Okay. So one key idea or point per
Yeah,
slide.
yeah.
And so we've got reels and we've got the carousels.
Yes.
After that, what would you say it's stories?
Yes, so
Or
I was going to talk about stories because they're a great way to boost your engagement, especially if you use the stickers like the poll, like yes, no, the questions, all of this. It's really good to start your stories with one of these engagement stickers. So, for example, I don't know if you're like a salon and you can jump on. And now having that color of nails or like that shape of nails is kind of like trendy. You can always have two images and be asked, so which one do you prefer, this or that? Which one do you get, like long hair, short hair? That kind of like mini games essentially.
okay.
And starting your stories with this, it's always a
Okay.
great way to boost your engagement.
So this or that ones work really well.
Yeah.
Other things as well. So the stickers, can you talk to me about some of the other stickers? Because I know a lot of people don't understand if they're not on Instagram a lot, there's a bit of confusion because
Okay.
you've got the yes or no, you've got the
You have the one like a quiz, and that's quite funny actually, because you can, and it's a good way to introduce people to your brand, for example, because you can ask a question. So for example, here's what we do, and you have like different answers, and one of the answers is going to be the right one. So you can ask different questions related to your brand, and yeah, it's a good way to help educate people in what makes your brand different and what's so great about your brand.
excellent. And then there are also stickers that appear when it's special occasions or things that are happening. For example, when it was Chinese New Year, when it was Ramadan.
Yeah.
Why would people want to put those stickers on their posts as well?
Because when you go on Instagram, where you have the stories, the circles with the stories, so you have your own story, and right next to that, you will have kind of like a group of stories that will group all stories using that sticker. So you will appear in that particular story. So potentially you can reach people that would otherwise maybe not see your story.
Okay, excellent. So if there's things that are happening, like for example, when it was Chinese New Year, we've got Father's Day coming up, or different things that you could go and add that sticker somewhere on your story to get that engagement as well. Okay, excellent. So I don't know, we're live across all of our social channels today, except for Instagram. We're talking about Instagram. But if anybody has any questions, because I see we have a lot of people liking the video right now, if anybody has any questions specifically about Instagram or about your business, please do pop it in the chat so I can pose it to Selma so she can answer your questions. Selma, the other thing I would love to hear from you about, because people are a lot of businesses in female fusion are using Instagram as a tool to sell. And one of the things, even for us within female fusion, we find that that it can be quite successful. For example, if we put a reel out about an event. Let's say, for example, if we have FF nights like we have tonight and we put out a reel, sometimes we'll get 5 or 10 people that will DM us within minutes of it going out and go, oh my God, that looks amazing. How do I book? And so it's really important as well that when you do those things, to make sure that you have somebody on your team who is prepared to respond to that and go in to look at your comments to make sure that you're responding so you can continue that engagement as well.
And it's actually a really good point, because a lot of people, what they do is kind of like post and ghost. So, and that happens especially if you schedule all your posts, because it gets automatically posted, but then you start getting comments, and you just don't see those comments, or you don't reply to those comments. And so what you should do before you post, you should ideally share a story using one of those engagement stickers that will relate to your upcoming post. If you've had any DMs or requests that you have not replied to, do it. The other thing is, make sure you have a very clear call to action in your post, because otherwise people are not sure necessarily what to do. And once you've posted, indeed, you need to try and stay on the platform for maybe 10-15 minutes and start replying to comments that come in or messages that come in. Yeah.
And we do find actually as well that even within Female Fusion, that when we do that, it increases the engagement a lot. We have a lot of people who book on everything from joining the membership to wanting to come to events. And it also introduces us to audiences maybe that we hadn't known before, they hadn't known us. So it's really important to kind of keep that, as you were saying, if you have the posts going out, to make sure that you're engaging. Do you recommend people to just natively be on their phone sitting in Instagram on the app, or would you recommend maybe that they use something like Facebook Business Manager, it's Meta Business Manager now, or one of the other tools? What would you recommend would be an easier way for people to do that?
I think what's great with the business manager is that you can see everything in one place. So, because otherwise, if you're just on your phone, you might miss reply to your messages on Instagram, but you might miss those messages on Facebook. So if you tend to get most of your DMs and requests and everything on one platform, then you might as well, if it's easier for you to just do it from your phone, do it from your phone. But if you get from different platforms, at least the business manager kind of groups everything, gives you an overview. So.
Excellent. Now we have lots of questions that are starting to come through, and I'll pose them to you. And also, if other people have any questions, just pop them in the chat and we'll get to them. There's one from Jaya who's watching us on LinkedIn, and she wants to know how to increase followers apart from boosting. First of all, Selma, what do you think about boosting?
Boosting, see, and that's actually a topic that comes up very often, is the difference between boosting a post and creating your campaign from the Facebook Ads Manager. And again, it really depends on your goal, if you want sales or if you want more engagement. Boosting is good if you want to direct some traffic to your Instagram profile, if you want more video views, if you want more likes. That's a good way. Now, if you want to increase your followers, it's not a short-term strategy. It's not something that happens in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. You have to be consistent. And when I say consistent, I don't mean you need to post every day 10 pieces of content per day. It's really, if you're consistent with 3-4 posts per week, that's perfectly fine. Try to engage. When you plan your strategy, try to have your audience in mind. Think of what they would be interested in, what would be relevant for them, what would be relatable for them. If you want to get more followers, so I would say maybe doing either collabs with influencers or cross promotions with other businesses that are kind of complementary with what you're doing. Um, these are these are ways you can increase your followers. But like I said, it's not something that happens just in like few days or few weeks. Yeah.
And it takes time and consistency.
Yes.
And it's consistency for everything in your business, not just on your social media.
Yeah.
That the more consistent that you do it over time, that you'll start to build up that audience and the following. But it does take time. It's not something that will happen immediately overnight. It's something that will take a lot of time. Do you recommend to people as well that they track their numbers and look at their numbers maybe once a month and see kind of the increase in numbers and maybe see what types of posts are working for them, to be able to maybe see what's working with their audience and engaging with their audience as well?
Definitely, because it always starts with like a bit of guesswork, trying to okay, so I'm going to talk about this, and maybe everyone's going to be interested, maybe it's not going to be interesting. So if at the end of the month you just go through your insights and you check which post is really well, which post brought you some new followers. At least it helps you understand what type of content you may want to be doing more of, and what type of content does not work as well with your audience.
Excellent. Okay, another question. I'm not sure who this is from. Maybe if you want to write your name in the chat box, because we're using StreamYard, and because you haven't accepted the app, the name doesn't show through. But it says, for service-based businesses, what would you suggest as a main Instagram focus to warm up clients to the point where they're ready to book a call?
I think it's so obviously it depends on what industry you're in, but generally speaking, I would say it's all about establishing yourself as kind of like the expert in what you're doing, building trust, showing you know what you're talking about, talking about if it's relevant, but maybe previous clients that you worked with that had some kind of success since working with you or using your services. I think you have to be very niche on what your industry is, what would establish you as the kind of like the leader, and like someone who really knows what they're doing, what they're talking about. And with this, I think it's even more important to keep showing up popping up on people's feed, because if today they're not ready to maybe book a consultation or book a call just today, maybe it's something that's on their mind. They're going to think about it again, and the next day they will still have that in mind, and then you pop up in their feed. They'll be like, oh, actually I had already seen this yesterday. And that's how you can always make sure that you'll be present in your audience's mind.
Yeah, and it comes back to the age-old thing: know, like, and trust. And people are looking for that it might take several times before they see you, that they're going to know you and go, oh, okay, she looks like somebody that I can trust, or that business looks like somebody they can trust. On the testimonials, it's interesting. I don't know if you've noticed this, but we've found that we get better engagement with testimonials when we do them as reels rather than the image with the person's picture and the quote, that people really want to genuinely see somebody who's almost just like them. And we find that when we have those, that we get a lot of DMs, or even those people will get DMs that someone will look them up on social media and contact them and go, did you really see that? How did you find that? How do you find the Fusion Circle? Is it helping you grow your business? And so the reels definitely work a lot better for us as well. Would you say for things like testimonials, reels over an image, or should there be a balance?
if you can get video testimonials, it's a lot better because content where you can see actual people always does better, performs better, because we relate, and especially with the Fusion Circle, when you see someone and you see the name of their business, and maybe it's someone whose business you've ordered from them, you've been to their, and you're like, okay, that's familiar, I can relate. And so yeah, if you can get video testimonials, 100% go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
often as well, especially in this market, because we're quite a small market and a lot of people know each other as well,
Mhm.
that in this market, it also helps oftentimes to use the person's full name and the name of their business. We find a lot of times that our members are like, no, 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 I want you to like say the name of my business and tag me and use my name, because it also helps them, but also because the market is so small that chances
Yeah.
are that people will
Yeah.
know them, rather than saying, Sam from, a digital marketing agency, that you want to give the full name of the business instead.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. We still have time for a few more questions for people as well. Um, Selma, for you, what is your favorite form of content on Instagram? What do you, if you could choose to do one thing, what's your favorite?
Um, See, I'd say what I love about Reels is you can do pretty much what you want, and you can do a 3 second reel that will go viral. You can do a 1 minute reel. So I just like how creative you can be, and how you have less pressure, I would say, than maybe with picture content, where you're like, oh, let me make sure this is looking good. This is like, let me make sure everything is picture perfect. With videos, it's really authentic. It's really as right. I'm in my office now. That's what I'm doing, and just capturing this. I love how you can go for something really technical with loads of effects and loads of transitions, or you can go with something very, very, very simple as well. So yeah.
When it comes to Reels, are you creating Reels natively within Instagram, or are you using another app to create your Reels? Like, let's say if you're just doing something on your phone.
We tend to use another app because we film with a professional camera,
Yeah.
and it's just easier, yeah, to edit even on the laptop. But I mean, you can totally use, especially now they've launched. I know not all accounts have it, but some have it. It's called Instagram templates, and where basically you will see a reel, and then you have this little template thing, where what it lets you do is, sometimes when you have a song and you have like one clip synced to the audio,
Mhm.
instead of you having to go in your editing app and trimming each individual clips, you can
Yeah.
just use this template straight from the app, and just select your own videos, and then you have your video ready. And it's
Oh,
literally
that's
just a few
amazing.
seconds. Yeah, so it's
Yeah, because I think that this is one area that really frustrates business owners, is that they
mhm.
feel just the overwhelm, and I think a bit of the fear as well, that it's too technical and they can't really do it. I would have to say, for me, the thing that I don't like is getting the text to appear at certain periods. I find that can be quite frustrating, that it is a little bit finicky. Do you find is Instagram the best to use for that, or is there another app that you would say makes it easier? For example, I know I get recommended InShot a lot. A
Mhm.
lot of times people say that InShot is quite good for that, or other apps, or is it better just to use Instagram?
So the thing is that these days, let's say with Instagram, there's kind of like a glitch where a lot of users are having issues where there's something that goes wrong with the timings. So you set the duration for your text, and then when you either save or post, it gets completely messed up, and it's affected a lot of users. So considering this and how it's not necessarily super user friendly to do it directly from the app, I would say InShot is quite good. Video Leap is also quite good, quite easy to use. One that I particularly like because you can use on your phone but also on your computer. It's called VN. Yeah, and it can even like sync. So whatever you're editing on your phone, if you open the app on your computer or your laptop, you will still have this new project synced. So it's quite quite helpful.
Amazing. And I know that some people also like to they'll be on maybe TikTok and also Instagram, and maybe take and create a video on one platform, let's say for example TikTok, and then be like, oh, that video is great, and then want to put it on Instagram. And you see sometimes that there's the videos that have like the little TikTok watermark.
Yeah, the watermark. Yeah.
Will your video, I've heard from different people say that if you have a video that you've taken that you've made on TikTok and you put it onto Instagram, that it will affect the algorithm.
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
It will. Yeah.
So it means that your video won't get as many views.
No, yeah, because Instagram, they can detect the watermark, and they will tend, whether it's TikTok or any other platform that will have a watermark, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Natalie wants to know if there's any way you know how to get the Reels template to appear on your Reels so others can use it. Does that help your engagement with that specific Reel?
So the thing is, it's not rolled out on all accounts yet. So some, it's kind of like when they launched Reels, some accounts had access to Reels, some accounts didn't have access to Reels. So I think I'm hoping that in the next few days, weeks, we'll get more information and more clarity on who can get it, how to have it. My instinct would be that it will help with engagement because the more people will use your template, will end up on your video to use your template, the more views you will get, the more will tell the algorithm that your content is interesting, etc. So yeah, hopefully it's always the same with Instagram. They don't really talk a lot about what they're doing, and they don't give like all details. So it's kind of like figuring it out as we're going. But yeah.
We've got a super fan. Marion loves InShot, which is great. A question for you as well about different types of accounts, because I see this come up as well, that people try to decide what kind of account they choose in their settings, if it's the business account or the creator account. Or could you maybe speak about that and give some top tips as well on that?
Yes. So the thing is, if you want to use some audio, you need a creator account. And I know some businesses might be a bit reluctant to switching to a creator account because I'm a business, I should have a business profile. The thing is, with the creator account, you still have the same features. You still have the your insights and everything. So if you want to use these audios and to be able to jump on trends and everything, definitely go for a creator account. If you're not too bothered about this, or if you're always posting videos using your own audio, then you can stick with your business profile.
And the benefits to having a business profile, what would be the benefits over having a creator one? Why would somebody want a business profile then?
So Instagram says it's more suitable for businesses because I think they're trying to really differentiate between content creators and really encourage these content creators and businesses. But again, with with your creator profile, you still get access to your insights. So with our clients, we haven't really seen any kind of difference from switching from business to creator or from creator to business. So yeah, I'd say one of the main things is if you want to just be able to use some audio that you've seen, recreate a trend or anything, yeah.
Okay, amazing. Now, just to answer Mesa's question, well, first of all, she says thank you for sharing your tips. But also as well, Mesa, it's being recorded and put on our YouTube channel, and that will be available for the rest of this month on the YouTube channel. And it's also permanently, everything is within the Fusion Circle membership portal. So if you're a member of the Fusion Circle, everything is within there as well. Natalie's given us another question where she wants to know where you can find the latest Instagram updates and tips.
I'd recommend Later. Later, I think their Instagram is Later Media, their handle. And they're one of the like official partners of Instagram. They're always kind of among the first ones, giving all the new updates, new features. So yeah, their blog is quite helpful as well. So if you can sign up to their newsletter, I think you get everything straight to your inbox. Yeah.
Amazing. And Rosh is just sending love, as always. Roshane in the Fusion Circle. And there's a few other ones through. But one thing I want to ask you as well, Selma, you've been in the Fusion Circle for a while. And we've been asking our members from the Fusion Circle to run these insights because we want to be able to celebrate you and support you and to show everybody what amazing talent we have in the Fusion Circle. How have you found that the Fusion Circle has helped your business?
So for me, it's very clear. I have most of my clients from the female fusion circle, because I think it's from networking, going to the events, getting to know everyone. At some event, you're going to see someone, then you're going to speak to them again at the next event and everything. It really, really allows you to build that kind of trust and relationships that is really hard to do otherwise here. So yeah, it's been really helpful. But to be fair, not just in terms of finding clients, but also in terms of if I have any question about something that I'm not an expert at all, and I just need some guidance. I need some advice or anything, because I find it's a very supportive community, and it's very because you have businesses from all these different industries. There's always someone who's willing to give you some tips, help you out. And so
the community is amazing, isn't it? We've got over 500 members now, starting up from just startups all the way to businesses who have hundreds of people working for them as well. And so it's really beautiful to see how that community's grown. We have a lot of our Fusion Circle members in here as well, which is great. And what I love too is that everybody supports each other. And there's even people who might kind of compete against each other. There's so much business around that it's so much better to collaborate and support each other and help each other out, because then we all succeed together. Sharon, the beautiful Sharon, says she learned something today. She's great. Another thank you for you as well. So there's been some really lovely comments, and it's great to have so much engagement on here as well. We've got FF Nights tonight. We were just speaking about that before we went live on air. That's going to be brilliant. I think we are almost sold out as well, and we've asked the hotel to increase our capacity. So if anybody is still kind of thinking like, do I want to go or not? It's going to be a great opportunity to meet other women business owners. We're going to focus on networking tonight as well. And we have two beautiful members who are going to speak. They're master networkers and are going to speak about how they use networking to grow their businesses as well. So we have a brilliant evening planned tonight. So if you do want to know about how to come to that, if we have any spaces left, just send us a message and we can connect you with that. So thank you. Rasheen says she's going to pop by. Always great to see Rasheen. So Selma, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us tonight or this afternoon. Everybody can have access to you within the Fusion Circle. I know that within our extra community that we have within the Fusion Circle, you're often helping people and sharing insights and advice as well. So we're very honored to have you as part of the community too. So thank you for your support. And I thank everybody for being part of this today. Have a beautiful afternoon, everybody.
Thank you so much for having me, and look forward to seeing you tonight at the Fusion night.